Welcome back. It's me again. One life update. I'm officially done with my masters. I have submitted my last assignment and now I'm free. That was just a joke. Now the biggest process, that is hunting for a job, is still pending. So I'll be focusing on that. Now let's start today's video, that is the video on the two-stage visa application process for Canada. But before I start, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. That would mean a lot to me. So in this video, I'll talk about what exactly is that process, what are the benefits, what are the loopholes, and finally what is my opinion on that. So let's get started. Talking about the what of the process, as you know, because of COVID, the biometric centers are closed and so are the medical centers where you have to take your medical examination. So what will happen is that your visa application will be processed in two steps. The first one will be that you submit your letter of application, the proof of funds, the usual process, except your biometrics and your medical or the police clearance certificate. For India, for study permit, police clearance certificate is not needed, so you can chill about that. So this was the process. Now coming to the benefit of this process. So even if you are studying in your home country, after getting that first stage approval, your duration for the PGWP won't get affected because that's what the Canadian embassy, the Canadian officials have taken into account. So that is one positive news for all of you. Now the application deadline for this process, so that is 15 September. You can file your application accordingly and make sure that you file it before September 15 if you want to study for the fall intake 2020. There is obviously this huge benefit that the PGWP won't take a hit, but there are certain loopholes as well which you should be aware of while filing for your application and while deciding your intake. The first loophole is that you have to study at least 50% of your course in person. Now, for example, your course is 8 months long and you are enrolling for fall 2020 and fall 2020 is online. So you will have that 50% course online, but what if things go downhill and January intake is also conducted online? So then you wouldn't have that luxury of PGWP. So the people who are enrolling for 8-month course have to be super careful about this point. Now coming to the second loophole, this is the worst case scenario that can happen, but just to take in consideration of all the points. So what if your visa gets refused? So the thing is that the universities won't refund your fees, in my opinion, because you already attended the classes, you enrolled for the services and you did take them. So there's no point that they will refund the fees for that particular semester in which you attended the classes. So you have to take this point also into consideration. But the chances of getting a visa refused after the second stage would be pretty low because you have already shown your letter of acceptance, you have already shown the proof of funds, so the reasons that your visa can rejected go down and the probability also goes down accordingly. Only if you have a serious issue would your application be rejected. So make sure that you put your best foot forward in the first stage process. Now coming to the third loophole, which is everything opens up and you get your biometric done, you get your medical examination done and your visa gets accepted. Until and unless all the travel restrictions ease up and your university says that there are mandatory in-person classes to be held for that program, only then will you be allowed to go to Canada. So these mandatory in-person classes will be for the programs which have, for example, lab work, and one example can be a chemistry course. But again, it would depend on the program and it would depend on the university. So you need to check with your university if that is happening anytime soon or not. So these were the loopholes. I hope that you take these into consideration. And also, before I jump to the opinion section, the thing I want to clarify is that your PGWP won't take a hit only if you have gotten that first stage approval. If you start studying online without that approval, then that rule won't be applicable to you. So make sure that you file your application and you get that first stage approval. I was blabbering all about the facts. Let's come to my opinion. So my opinion is, if your course is 8 months long, then what if the January intake also goes online and there are no mandatory in-person classes for your program? Then it would be like starting from Udemy or Coursera, but along with paying a huge amount of tuition. So you have to be wise and see if that's worth it or not. You would miss on is the networking experience, your in-person experience, forging friendships with your classmates. It can be hard if you are sitting in different corners of the world and haven't even met. I know it's this digital technology, everything gets better, but still that real connection of meeting people in person and then forging friendships and listening to the lecture in the class, that's an entirely different experience which you will miss out on. So if your degree is of a very short duration, for example 8 months, then it makes sense that you start studying only when you know that things are going to get better. If your degree is of 2 years, then even if you start from Jan and even if Jan gets online, you'll have that rest of the sessions to cover up for your lost experience. But it shouldn't be that you enroll in a course and you complete it literally online. So that wouldn't be a wise investment according to me. Also, for those people who were thinking that they'll cover up their tuition fees by working part-time in Canada, that won't happen because you would be sitting at your home. And even if you decide to resume your full-time job, that you can even when you are studying, because you are studying in India and you have that liberty, but you won't be earning in dollars and that exchange rate wouldn't favor you. So as I said in my previous video, defer or come. I would again say that defer if you still have time to defer fall intake, because this is going to be online and you can defer to the Jan intake. But if your course has only one intake, which is the fall intake, and your program is of 2 years, then I think you can come because you will still get that experience, you will still get to meet people, you will still get to explore the country. So you can be exempted from this, but those people who have such a short duration of period, they should definitely defer. Also, when restrictions ease up and when you are allowed to come, you'll still be asked to follow the quarantine plan, and I have made a video on that, so you can check that and prepare accordingly. So this was my take. You can make your decision according to your situation and whatever you think is good for you. Now, before leaving, I'll just update you on what's happening in Canada. So Canada is currently in the 3rd stage process and almost everything has opened up, but the exceptions are bars, casinos. So these will take time, but everything else is pretty chill. There was never a lockdown in the sense that you are free to roam, but you had to take your own precautions, and there were procedures to mitigate that only a certain people can enter a store and you have to wear masks in public places. So that was it. Otherwise there were no restrictions, like you don't have to come out of your house, and things are getting better. Let's hope for the best for the future as well. I hope this video provided you with more clarity, and now that you can make an informed decision accordingly. I'm going to go for my evening walk, but you make sure that you subscribe the channel if you feel that this content is useful, and see you soon next time. Bye.